Hey guys, welcome back to another Real Estate Uncensored Marketing Roundtable. God, I can't even talk. I tried to get all excited and didn't even work, but this is what I get. I got two of my illustrious co-hosts with me right now. Our third is going to be coming in hot, but first, we have our countdown. Guys, we got an incredible show today. We got some good stuff. First, I want to introduce two of my favorite people on God's green earth, Mr. Jake Wolf with Clever Leads with a K. How are you, brother?
I'm good, Mr. Greg McDaniel. Thank you for having me once again at the Real Estate Uncensored Marketing Roundtable. I'm really excited to go ahead and talk and banter about all of the cool stuff we have to talk about today. We're talking about real estate data. Reliable real estate data for your real estate business, and some recent results that you've actually had.
Yeah.
And then I think Nick's going to talk about how the United States of America now has more realtors than home listings.
Yes, Mr. Nick Sakis out of Florida. What up, buddy? You gotta say hello, and let's share this article. What do you think?
Man, I tell you what, it was kind of buzzworthy this past week. I'm sure if most agents that are listening, if you've been in any real estate groups or whatever, you might have seen this. There's a lot of people talking about it. The one that we're referencing here is from floridarealtors.org. The U.S. now has more realtors than homes listed. Scary stat. So, talking about on this show all the time about how to differentiate yourself, how to stand out from the crowd. Like, what does this mean? We're going to kind of go into all that kind of stuff. How do you make yourself known as the go-to person in your area? And how do you reach out to these people in this low inventory to actually get those listings when there is a sea of red when it comes to real estate agents, because everybody's got a license right now?
So when it comes to low inventory, Jake, let's talk a little bit about the show that we did yesterday, and kind of what you're working with another agent in another state. You launched 300 and change messages out, and you've had over a 56% response in 25 minutes, whatever that actual number is.
Yeah.
But that's marketing. That's getting out there. That's getting after it, right?
Email's not dead, Nick Sakis. Email is not dead.
That's right. That's right.
So, yeah, 337 emails delivered in literally the last 35 minutes and 191 opens. I launched it literally at 2 minutes past the hour, now we're 37 minutes past the hour, just before the show. Hardcore link clicks coming through, people checking their home evaluation, but it all comes back to the process and then reliable data. And that's the big thing. So Mr. Greg McDaniel yesterday graced us inside of our private Clever Leads HQ. And we talked about literally the 10 sellers that he put into his back pocket in the last 4 business days, ladies and gentlemen. We went through the conversations, the breakdown on the deals, 4 business days, 10 sellers. So now that we're talking about the United States of America has more realtors than listings, you got to hone in your process and get down with the right data. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. So
Greg's muted. He's doing a TikTok right now.
Oh, he's totally TikToking. Hello, TikTok.
I TikTok every day. If you're not TikToking, I don't know what you're doing wrong. Okay. I love me TikTok. No, I'm actually doing a quick little story because you got to stay relevant in front of everybody, right? Even though my voice is like killing me right now. I don't know what's going on. Let's talk about a little bit kind of how to properly do what we just talked about. How do we stay in front of everybody? How do we get those returns? Are we, Jake, are you doing something different than Nick? Nick, are you doing something different than Jake? Gene is going to come in here screeching in because he had to shave his head before he came on. He felt very hairy, so we didn't want to make him look silly on stage. But you guys, when it comes to marketing, what are the pros? What are the cons? How do you judge these numbers? How can you really justify your costs? I mean, there's a huge thing we have to unpeel here. So who wants to go first?
Let Nick take it.
I want to talk about the sellers you put in your back pocket.
Okay. What do you want to talk
that? Let's talk about that. What process? I'm sure Clever Leads was involved. I'm sure your brother's data was involved. But what does that look like from everybody wants a seller and you just pocketed, what'd you say, 10?
10 in 4 days.
4 days, 10.
Just no big deal. No big deal.
No.
People out in the streets killing people for listings and you just pocketed 10. Yeah.
Well, I also showed $18 million of product yesterday, and the guy wants to buy every single dime of it. Plus, he wants to buy more all over the place. So, yeah, no, just marketing doesn't work and hard work doesn't work. And this, we should just wait for everything to fall in our lap, right, gentlemen? Nick, let's break it down a little bit. When it comes down to, what our whole topic is today, where would you like to start when it comes to kind of, talking about, real estate data, recent results, kind of what are you seeing in your marketplace, your clients, and kind of where do you think the market is shifting, how people can improve, the whole 9 yards?
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows that I'm a social media guy, so I always lean, especially Facebook and Instagram. Having good data is always the start of everything. You know that I'm with your buddy Brad, your brother, and using his data and uploading that stuff into custom lists inside Facebook to give you a better chance at getting in front of the people who are doing the right things. But for me, I always work backwards, right? Because you can have the best data, you can have the targeted ads running to all these people, but it's all about the offer. So I want everybody on this call, if you're a real estate agent, if you're a mortgage broker, you really have to come down to what is your unique offer? What is your value proposition? Because if you're just going out there and saying the same shit that everybody else is saying, you're going to get passed up in the newsfeed. And a couple of interesting things, right? I want you to just, instead of thinking like a real estate agent in your newsfeed, think like a marketer. Actively look at all the different messages that are out there and see how you can tweak them and make them a little bit different. Because last year, the cash offer was the best thing ever, right? If I go in my newsfeed right now, if I go to Zillow.com and then hop right back onto Facebook, my newsfeed is inundated with people saying, we'll buy your house cash. We'll do this cash. So what is your unique offer that you can put in front of the right people to get the results? Because without the offer, you can have the data, you can have the vehicle like a Facebook ad, but nothing's going to happen.
Jake, where do you want to take that?
I'm going to go hard in the paint on reliable data here, and I absolutely love what Nick just said. So I'm such a huge fan of likely artificial intelligence. Every single one of my Clever agents that's using it, utilizing our managed VA program, is absolutely crushing the competition. Anybody that doesn't go ahead and jump on board that train is just going to get left behind, because we're parking 10 sellers into Greg McDaniel's back pocket while you guys are still thinking about what's what. That data set is so awesome because it has predictive analytics. He has artificial intelligence that runs, and it gives you a good picture of the future. People who are most likely to go ahead and sell their home in the next 90 days or so, based upon some of the things they're doing before even a real estate agent is associated to that property most all of the damn time. Okay, so before all of your competitors can go ahead and rush out and try to go ahead and get influence over these people, we've got a unique advantage. So I love to go direct. Most all of this data comes along with reliable contact information, emails, things along those lines. So now it's just about the approach. The virtual assistant program is exactly what Greg was using, and his lady, Karen, starts reaching out, saying hello via text. We also went ahead and sent out an amazing email right after St. Patrick's Day to a seller landing page set. It said, after celebrating St. Patrick's Day, it's always good to check the pot of gold at the end of your rainbow. Possibly planning on making a move in 21? ? Check out right here, California Home Values 2021 edition. And we had over 17 address captures off that landing page set, literally on day one. So we knew that these people were interested. We knew their addresses. And then lo and behold, we had their contact information as well. We can double back around on them with a virtual assistant and put out a nice question. We first confirm if they're the homeowner. Secondly, we just we're curious if you'd be open to an offer on your property, or if you were planning on making a move this year. Inventory's been incredibly low. Mr. McDaniel was recently by your neighborhood. We've seen some high buyer demand there lately. We'd love to talk if you're open to it. Nice, genuine, sweet, direct to the marketplace. And that's how you put 10 in your pocket in 4 business days. And literally every single one of my clever agents utilizing that reliable, likely artificial intelligence data is crushing it.
Dude.
That's my number one. Absolutely love it. Love Brad, the CEO over there. He's done a fantastic job. And I send everybody that way. Deployed with Clever Leads, directly with virtual assistants, and all of the back office stuff is just, I don't like wasting time, Mr. McDaniel. Mr.
Nope.
Beck.
Neither do I. That's why I do this. I do home equity checkups. Yes, we will come to your house and we will put on a white lab coat and we will check on your data and see what your house is worth. Yeah, it's a funny joke, but it is something, yes, I did do. Let's talk a little bit about VAs for a half a second when it comes to marketing and the data and everything else, because everyone's life is moving at Mach 2. At the time of this recording, we're in the third month, almost end of the third month here in 2021. Can't believe almost the first quarter's over with. Holy crap. When it comes to leveraging time using data, what would be the first thing that one of you gentlemen would do immediately to get attention in Q2 of 2021? Because this is it's an interesting year. Let's put it that way. We always made the joke that if you didn't like 2020, wait till she turns 21 and then she starts drinking. Damn, it's gonna be interesting. So where do you guys want to take this thing when it comes to data, VAs, leveraging time, and everything else so people can be more productive while they're still working from home and being kind of hampered by just by life?
I think you got to double down hardcore. That article that you just went in and pulled up, when the U.S. now has more realtors than home listings.
Mm-hmm.
Fierce, incredible competition. If you don't go ahead and turn on the afterburners right now, you're going to be looking back at New Year's while you're popping champagne going, ooh, what just happened? Something just happened. And it's all about filling up your pipeline. So if you're serious about being a real estate agent, you're going to have to go ahead and kick up those afterburners just because of low inventory situation.
Low
anymore.
So low inventory is kind of a myth in my personal opinion, and this is why I think about that. Low inventory is only the inventory that you see on the MLS, not what's actually out there. There's a whole shadow inventory that nobody really taps into because they aren't doing aggressive marketing. Nick, Jake, Gene, if he actually wanted to show up for the show today, slacker. It reminds me of someone else that starts with an M. I don't know who that might be. Oh, yeah. Anyways, here's the thing. When I do my calls, like I said, I showed $18 million worth of product yesterday. And every single one of these pieces of property were off the market. Guess how I got them? I got them from cold calls. I got them from likely data, which I then, funneled through Jake over at Clever. And I was able to then, push it out, go get this guy to come over and hang out with me. The funny thing is the agent who introduced me to this buyer didn't even show up to the lunch. Didn't even show up to go out and look at the properties yesterday. It baffles the shit out of me. So if you sit there and you're telling me, oh my God, the inventory is so low, blah, blah, blah. Look, numbnuts, it's not fucking low. You're just not working hard enough to find it. If someone put a gun to your significant other, your husband, your wife, your child's head, not that I'm condoning violence in any way, shape, or form. What I'm saying is if you had a massive need to do something in a very short amount of time, I will bet you dollars to donuts you will find a way to do it. But yet we're all complacent. You guys find that with some of, not your clients, but people in the industry? Like everyone's just so complacent. Everyone just sits around and just looks for something to drop in their lap, when in reality, you got to get out there and hustle and grind harder than you've ever done in your entire life. Because if there's no inventory and you got buyers, dude, you have a fiduciary relationship to show the fuck up and actually get something done for them. You can't just sit there and wait for it. Gentlemen, your thoughts?
Waiting for that stimulus check to drop, buddy. What do you mean?
Oh man, that $1,400?
Money's being handed out everywhere.
Woo! Yes, that'll solve my mortgage problems for the next 6 months. Absolutely.
No, but you're right. I mean, that's the difference, honestly, though, between a salesperson. Hey, Speaking of sales guys, look who just showed up.
That's what I do. I sell, baby.
That's what I'm saying. That's if you take what you do seriously, and it's not just a part-time thing, which I know there's a lot of part-timers that listen, and probably one of the largest group in general as real estate agents is being part-time and having that as a side hustle. And I get that. But at the end of the day, what Greg just said is great. If you do have a client, you do have a buyer, it's go time, and you got to do what you got to do to get that job done. And that's where it comes out into like, it's utilizing different strategies. It's not doing what everybody else is doing. It's not just logging into the MLS. It's, going to neighborhoods, going to groups, talking to people during, garage sale stuff like, hey, do you know anybody that's looking to buy, sell, or invest? Like the actual grinding type stuff. But for me on the content side, I want to kind of touch on this in a second. Maybe this will be a good intro or leeway over to Gene, but there's so much to talk about right now in real estate, and there's so many companies out there that are disrupting. If one way for you to differentiate yourself right now is to get on camera and talk about all the different companies that are in there that are trying, because here's the thing, your ideal client, the people in your database, everybody that you know is getting inundated from the Knox of the world, the Zillows of the world, the Housers of the world, all these different companies that are trying to go directly to the consumer. You need to talk about that stuff in a public forum, not only as like a reference point, like, hey, I told you so, a year ago type of thing, but you become the expert. And if anybody is even thinking about listing their house on Zillow.com or through Hauser or through Knock or any of these other disruptors, you might get that phone call first because you're educating them on what are the differences between the two. Why is OfferPad different than Offer? Like there's just so many different nuances. They're all different. And you need to be talking about that stuff. And that's how you can present yourself as a professional that knows, hey, you could go this route. You could go to this company, but I'm going to tell you A, B, and C why you might want to choose something different. And that just gives you content to talk about to your database, or email it directly like through Clever Leads, right? Have an interesting video, boom, send that out to the likely list, and you're going to get some click-throughs.
Damn, this is all I think when I hear you talk. Jesse, it's party time. Like, let's get weird and have some fun. That's some good stuff right there. Good job, Nick. Guys, thoughts? Gene, since you came in late, introduce yourself, who you are, where you're from, what do you do, what's your favorite razor you use on your head?
Come on, man. If you're watching this show and you don't know who I am by now, that's ridiculous. I've been here 19 years.
I've been running for 19.
I graduated high school and I jumped on this train. What are you talking about? No, Gene Volpe, social media marketing, digital entrepreneur, digital architect. Get yourself exposed. Be careful how you do that. Part of this crazy crew for a while. So thank you for having me as usual. I'm sorry I was late.
You better be.
I am.
Jake, follow up on kind of what Nick said, because I want to hear your thoughts on this, and then Gene, I want to bounce it to you.
Yeah. So reliable data. And, well, Nick was talking about fiduciary responsibilities of real estate agents, right? So if you're serious about business, you got to be serious. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I want to kind of go back a little bit and talk about some of the other pools of data that we see out there. You've got REDX data, right? And these data sets are coming along with for rent by owners, for sale by owners, expireds, pre-foreclosures, circle prospecting data. Now it's about what in the world do you do with it, right? So there's different areas in, let's say, California, where you've got 40 or 50 other real estate agents that are calling on that data because it's intentful, right? So there's possibly something that these people are still thinking about doing in real estate. So it's the most competitive data set marketplace that's out there, right? In standard, I would say equal balanced real estate markets, you're going to have a little bit more success when you're seeing inventory low like this and high competition. That's a very tough area. However, we're not biased. We'll go after absolutely every single person with all of our tactics over here at Clever Leads. What I like is swimming in that blue ocean. Okay. There's a lot of people that are out there showing no intent right now. And it's about how do you go out, introduce yourself to these folks, see if they'd be open to an offer, or possibly thinking about moving before any of your competition is. So either the cold marketplace, homeowners 5+ years that have some type of equitable position, likely data, number one in my book, A+, absolutely love them. We are working very close with Likely, and we are going to be consuming every single marketplace that he has available with all of the Clever agents across the United States. And we are going to be dropping shot. So just like Mr. McDaniel did, we put 10 sellers in his pocket in 4 business days. Not a joke. So
nope, it's absolutely not a joke. Gene, follow that, buddy. Have fun with that one. Stop making fun of my text behind the scenes, okay?
God, I love it. I was going to say something on air, but I'm going to let you slide this time. No, and this might have been said already. I'm sliding in late here, right? So we're talking about reliability of data, and I heard the fiduciary things that it's part of what Nick was saying, but I don't know if they said this, but like you got to put the data in the hands of the right people too. So somebody like Jake, because you got to make sure that you're not in violation of some of these new stupid rules they got put out there, right? Which drive me crazy. It's like, oh, you got a text message and you're crying about it. Just hit delete or send stop back. Like, I don't understand why it's such a big deal to hit unsubscribe on an email. You got to report it as spam, you little punk. But that's what I got to say. You got to put that data in the hands of people that won't get you in trouble. How's that sound?
Sounds pretty fair. To
the point. I don't know if was that redundant? Did somebody already talk about that?
No, I like it.
No, I don't think so. Okay, so we've talked about data. We talked about follow-up a little bit here. Gentlemen, what are some of the most important things you're seeing right now when it comes to that? Is it lack of opportunity? Is it lack of resources? Is it lack of cash? Is it lack of work ethic? I mean, what is it that you guys are seeing why people are not doing the follow-up, why they're not using data sets? I mean, they just don't understand the idea of data sets and, highly intensified data sets.
Can I jump on that real quick?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Did I cut you off, Sarge?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I see a lot of people that are uneducated, misinformed, bad leadership, lack of action. So the level at which industries, different businesses go ahead and put out marketing material puts most realtors to shame, unless you're actually willing to do it yourself or putting together a process or a program to go and be able to send out roughly 10,000 text messages in a month, trying to prospect up and talk to 1,000 homeowners, emails going out, consistent consumable content. Most people just don't put enough work in, to be honest with you. And then they just fall out and go Netflix and chill.
Hey, don't knock Netflixing and chilling, brother. Okay,
no,
that's some good
time
shit.
for it. So
I like that. I like that he threw out the number 10,000.
Why?
How many? Because that's a great number. How many agents or people listening to this call have texted or emailed 10,000 people in their career, much less in a week? Right? It's the law of averages. No, okay, so one person, the host of the show, go figure, right? But I mean, it's true, right? That I heard a long time ago, and I don't even really remember. I wish I could give credit where credit is due, but I've been saying this as far as marketing. If you haven't had a hater by noon, then you're not marketing hard enough, right? If you haven't said your message, if you haven't sent out that many emails, if you haven't that many phone calls, shot that many videos, done that many things by noon of any specific day, then you're not marketing hard enough. You're not getting yourself out there more. I promise you, the words that come out of your mouth, you should be so tired of hearing them. And it should seem so boring to you because you said them so many thousands of times. Just when you get to that point of, I feel like I've said this too many times, is the point where people start listening.
So that brings up a great question in regards to a lot of people think that like you don't want to be the annoying person, right? We were always told, don't talk to strangers, don't go onto that person's property, don't harass them. If they say no, walk away. And this is not a sexual thing by any way, shape, or form. You guys know this on this show, but when someone says no, they mean no, right? Well, is that the same rule in marketing? Because it sounds like it's the complete opposite, gentlemen. And crickets, congratulations.
Where I was coming from on the social media side of things, right? Oftentimes we feel like if we said something once, throw it away, and it's you can't ever say it again, right? So you shouldn't ever. And I think that's where people come into the misconception of like, I don't have enough content, I don't know what to say, because they're constantly thinking about saying new things. Like instead of thinking about saying 1,000 things, why don't you say the same 5 things 1,000 different ways? So like that, maybe reframe, like, so pick 10 topics or 10 different things that your ideal client is looking for, thinking about, might need to be educated on, and just come up with different ways to talk about that same thing over and over and over again, where it's a little bit fresh, your perspective, but different. That's how you create the omnipresent content, the amount of of awareness that you need in a marketplace to stand out from the other thousands of agents that are just doing the same thing, not sending any text, not sending any emails, not doing any live video or recorded video, any kind of posting in general.
Let me go on that. Let me go on that. I like what both of those guys just said. So I want you to think about a couple things, like Garyvee, right? Garyvee has 5 messages that he's been preaching for the last 33 years, right? Same message. I don't know what the hell that is. Same message that he's been hammering home, and he's one of the most successful marketing guys on the planet, right? Think about a top comedian in the world, Dave Chappelle.
Who? Fluffy.
Who's Fluffy?
Seriously?
Come on, man.
Oh, we got to talk after this.
Gabriel Iglesias.
Thank you.
Oh, I know who he is. I didn't know they called him that. So,
and I didn't know him just because I'm fat.
He's number 88 on the list. Give me a break.
Yeah.
But take a guy like Chappelle, right? Chappelle have a brand new show every time he goes out to a comedy club, or is he doing the same routine for a year until he does his Netflix special? Like, because he's got that 1 hour of material that he's trying to master, and by the end of it, when the Netflix special comes out, he's got the timing down, he's got the rhythm down, he's got the message down, he's got all these things down. I love what Nick said. Like, take your 5 to 10 top things and hammer them home. Don't be a jack of all trades, master of none, right? Mm-hmm. And kind of going back, I want to go back to something too when we were talking about 10,000 text messages, because I have this conversation with people all the time, and I have this conversation because I was the person in the past. Like, I don't want to send that much communication to people because I'm afraid they're going to get mad, or they're going to call me, or they're going to call the FCC, or they're going to call my state rep. Like, I was that guy, right? And being in marketing, that's a tough thing. As you move forward, you realize you have to do more marketing, not less. And you have to get comfortable with, like, I follow these memes, right? And there's real estate bad picks, all these funny things. And 90% of these things that come out in this one group are all responses to text messages and lead pages. And it's always like, F off. And the name is like dick@dicks.com, like all these things, right? So, when you're doing all the right stuff, and by noon, you should have 5 of those responses. You should have 5, hey, asshole, why are you communicating with me? Why do you think you have the right? Like, if you're not getting those, you're not sending out enough things. And that, for some people, is very, very uncomfortable. And so, like, if you're in real estate, what I would say to, like, let's just say somebody who signed up with Jake, and I've had this conversation before with people. If you're calling me and you're saying things like, I don't understand, it's too much, or how does this happen, and what about, and how come, and 10,000 emails, and boom, boom, boom. I go, look, if you were a real estate agent and I was calling you every 6 seconds to talk about every line in the contract, you probably at some point would say to me, I'm the professional, let me handle that element of it, right? So when I'm doing my marketing, if you're questioning, if I have data analysis and I can say 10,000 text messages a month work, here's what the ROI is on that. I think you need to be able to step back for a second and go like this. All right, Gene's the guy here. Let him take the wheel. If it doesn't work for 3 months, I'm out, right? Like, we give it some time. But you have to get comfortable in the uncomfortable with all those items, because this is a new way to market, and it's aggressive. Like, I had somebody say to me the other day, on a cold call, how many calls in a row, or how many text messages in a row, or how many emails in a row is too much? And I said, it depends. Do I need the product or service or not? And they went, no. And I said, then one. I don't want any of it, right? But I'm not that dude that hits the spam button or the unsubscribe. However, if I'm in the market to potentially sell my house because I think I can get $100,000 more, and that comes my way, maybe 3 I can deal with, right? So let the marketers do what they do. Take that, get the data, put that stuff out there, let the marketers do what they do. And believe me, you are going to have haters, right? If you don't have any haters, you're not doing enough. That's what they always say. So
I'd like to pick this ball up.
Yeah, go.
Pick this ball up and run with it. 10,000 text messages, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so you might think that that's a lot for one person to go ahead and receive, which it is. We're not texting 10,000 text messages to one person. However, if I send 2 very nice, polite text messages to 5,000 confirmed homeowners, you see how I'm spreading the net out, gaining influence over a tremendous amount of people inside of your local marketplace? Absolutely. And we've sent out millions and millions of text messages, millions of emails out of Clever Leads. Every single person that we have over there has is doing good. They have good influence. They're getting their brand down. And this kind of piggybacks on exactly what Mr. Sakis says. I like to think about your brand online at your website like a restaurant. Okay. If I'm inviting a whole bunch of people over to the restaurant, they come into your doors and sit down, and you don't have good content that's consumable, there's no food on the table. They're going to leave. Okay. So it's important to go ahead and take all of these different approaches and dynamics of marketing and put it together and start taking massive action on it. So outbound communication, utilizing reliable data, going out and talking to these different folks. It's extremely important and necessary for your real estate business. But once they come back to the house, to your restaurant, you got to give them some food to eat so that they know you're a legitimate player in this industry, and let those consumable content videos and the different things that you're talking about accentuate who you are as a person, what they can expect by doing business with you, and so on and so forth. Plus, give them some good quality nuggets. What's going on in the marketplace? But so when we talk about this much communication, let's pin down on this 10,000. I said at 10,000 to go ahead and talk to roughly about 1,000 homeowners. So out of all of the agents across the United States of America, when we're looking at a good kind of a zone, if I say that I send, let's say, a 4-stage text drip out to somebody and they don't respond, they're going to get 4 text messages perfectly placed so that it doesn't look or feel like you're bugging the hell out of somebody. Good quality introduction. We're telling people who we are. We're not being intrusive. We're asking a couple probing questions to see if we can go ahead and get somebody on the hook and reel them to the boat and have a conversation. Okay. It's done right, politely, so that you can really minimize the FUs and increase the, you know what, I'm not interested right now. Thanks for reaching out. Have a blessed rest of your day. Put them on a nurture list. Next month, we're going back to those folks saying, hey, you know what? Just came across our conversation we had about 30 days ago. Wanted to say hi. Hope you're well. Would love to get your email address. We send out some awesome weekly emails about stuff that's going on. We wanted to have you included. These are genuine conversations that are going out, but at scale, increasing the law of averages so substantially in your favor that things happen, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are the kind of person that hangs out for about an hour or so and maybe just dabbles in your pipeline building process of your company, nope, it's not going to work, especially when we're looking at articles like more real estate agents than listed homes. So reliable data, utilizing the right process and system, and get over the fear and start getting into legitimate marketing for your company, because you're businessmen and women. You need to run your company like it.
Damn. Knowledge drops by both of you guys. Nick, weigh in on this real quick, because I know you got something to say.
I mean, okay. So on the social media side of things, it's always about being timely, right? And I love the restaurant analogy. Like, you can attract people to your restaurant, but if they come to sit down and there's no cook in the back, again, no food, no offer, what do you really have? You have nothing. People are going to leave the restaurant. So for me, simple things like have this. You can have the most powerful platform in the world, like Clever Leads, with likely data, the ability to text, email, and actually go after, with landing pages that are very sticky, to be able to retarget on the social media side on the back end. You could have that super powerful engine, but if there's nothing behind it, if you're just a wet noodle and you're not an actual real estate agent, you're not a salesperson, you can't get on video, convey your message, and have something to offer these people, then it doesn't matter. You can have the most powerful platform in the world. It doesn't matter. So think about what you can talk about, what's on the mind of the seller. It's very, very simple when you break it down. How can you get that person to say, hey, this guy, Nick, I've never seen him before, but what he's saying is really true. When I open this email, say, talk about catchy headlines and marketing, find out how you can get more for your house in Bitcoin than you can in cash in 2021. Like, if I'm a home seller and I'm thinking about selling my house and you've heard about Bitcoin, but like, I'm clicking that, I'm going to a landing page and I'm getting a video from Nick about how I can sell my house with Bitcoin or whatever. Like, now you're in the funnel. Now I can follow up with other videos, like timely real estate related stuff that has to do with other things that are going on in the market right now, putting you in the eyes of the seller as the expert. But then having that consumable content is just, it's where it's at, man. You got to be on record these days as a professional, with timely information that helps your dedicated ideal client, you got to do it.
Okay.
Ooh, 10 things that sellers miss when they prep their home for sale. Ooh, will your pre-COVID home suit your post-COVID lifestyle? Staging your home properly for top dollar. There's a lot of topics out there, ladies and gentlemen, that you can go ahead and put together on consumable content, written and in video form. Most preferred.
So let's talk about that. Resources for data, and talking subject matter. Is it important that we have stuff that's built in with high SEO and keywords? Does that matter? Should we be paying attention to YouTube? Should we be marketing more to our database? Should we just doing everything on social? Gentlemen, help me understand this a little bit so people can kind of pick their lane. Everybody's going to have a different idea about this, but I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts.
I like all of these different social areas as ways to go ahead and get into the mix on conversation out there where that traffic is. Bring them back to headquarters, i.e. your online website. So that's your property. You own it. And then you can go ahead and park all of your consumable content there in video and written form and drive people back. Plus, the website is a strong place to go ahead and have a tremendous amount of tracking pixels. So when you fire up retargeting and remarketing to go ahead and keep your brand in front of people all the time with your consumable content that you build, it's vitally, vitally important. But to answer your question, these are a whole shit ton of moving parts that are all essential elements for your business that work as one together as one.
Right.
Necessary.
So I had a conversation with an individual the other day, and they were saying that they didn't have a database, to market to, right? Because you want to get in front of people, right? You want to have someone to share all this content with. And I reminded this individual, I said, hey, look, do you have contacts in your phone? And they said, yes. I said, now you have a database, because he's a brand new individual to the business. What would you guys say in regards to that kind of a strategy so we can build a database, get the content recorded and then produced and then pushed out through, Gene, Nick, and Jake's, individual, organizations. But I mean, where would you guys tell a new agent to go find people to talk to if they needed to get going right now? Where would you go? Gentlemen, pick who wants to go first. And Nick,
we already do this for everybody. So we have the National Real Estate Database. Every single person that signs up over here at Clever Leads, I download every single confirmed homeowner in your area of operation. Your zip code's not on do not call lists that have owned homes for 5+ years. Here we go. Thousands and thousands of people to go ahead and reach out and say hello to. You can go to Likely Artificial Intelligence, purchase an opportunity to go ahead and receive that data once a month. You can go to RedX and pull down all of your expireds, pre-foreclosures. It's all accessible. It's all there. Now you bring it into one house and you start to go ahead and reach out, utilizing core communication and advertising. If you guys are in a position to go ahead and actually spend some dollars on advertising for your business. Any of your existing data sets, it's important. Bring them into the system, say hello, get them to your new websites so that they're all there as well. And just like Nick and Gino go ahead and say all the time, it's important to get social, be social, participate there. A lot of folks, once they start seeing your core communication, will then go check out all of your social stuff on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Insta, or these different platforms. That's why it's important to have a presence there, but everything should point back to headquarters, to the restaurant.
Gene, you're creeping me out. You're quiet. What's on your mind?
No, nothing. They nailed it. Where would I start? So Facebook, I always say that. If you have a group of 500 friends, I think one of the things that new agents skip over in the beginning is they forget to tell people that they're a new agent. And I think that would be a great spot to start. Like, hey, Nick, I'm hitting them with a DM or calling them because I'm going through my list and saying, I don't know if you knew this or not, but I decided to make a career change, or I just decided to X, Y, and Z, and I just thought I'd put it out there. Maybe we can have drinks one day and talk about your real estate portfolio, or if not, hopefully you'll think about me later. But I think whether you go through your phone or your Facebook or whatever social media site you're on and you go through your followers, I guarantee there's going to be 10 or 20 ahas where you look through and you go, oh, dude, if I called that guy, he would help me. Or if I called this girl, that would be a good partnership. Or if I saw this guy, he's a mortgage lender. Like, there's a million things you can do. You have that, especially now. You got a phone. Just go through. Here's the problem, Greg. I think a lot of people are unwilling, and I've done this in the past, are unwilling to take the tedious time it takes to go through and really sort through your quote unquote digital Rolodex, right? So if you have a little bit of time each day, 30 minutes each day, roll through some stuff, take out some names from your Facebook, Instagram, and Google or iPhone contacts and reach out. That's it.
Damn. Okay. Well, that's pretty damn simple. Guys,
Right?
we're running. Yeah. Nick, what?
Piggyback. I got some homework assignments for anybody on this call.
Do it.
No.
Right?
No.
So to piggyback on what Gene said about Facebook, I always start with Facebook too, because people typically have a Facebook page of some kind, right? A profile page. There's people typically that will have anywhere between 300 and 1,000 people that they're friends with from their local market. That is your core database. Usually people you went to high school with, work, all that kind of stuff, right? Simple thing that you can do, and this goes back to reaching out to people, having communication and content. A very simple call, either a call if you have their phone number or a direct message on Facebook or Instagram, is, hey, if you're new, use the new. If not, whatever. This is still the same thing. I'm coming up with a new weekly show to educate people on the real estate market. What can you tell me? What question would you have that I could cover in next week's show that would be relevant to you? What questions do you have? This is polling your audience, asking people. You're not calling them or getting in touch with them because you want to sell them a house. You're calling them because you want to help educate the public, and now it gives them a little bit of meat into what you're doing. So they're going to feel good. Now you get content. They say, you know what? I heard about this knock company. What do they do? Now you have content that you can shoot a video. You can tag them in the video. Thank you for giving me this idea. # Gene Volpe. Now it's on Gene's timeline. And then you just turn that into a huge content machine. And now you have a ton of content that you can go out to cold audiences, because when you go to people, load them into Clever Leads, and now you got Jake's data of 5,000 homeowners in your market. They can come back to your timeline, see all the data. You're the professional.
And think about when that pops up in your reminders 2 years later. So when you just tag me in that and your real estate video comes up with on it, like, thanks Gene. And you respond and you go, yo, dude, do you remember this? And I go, yeah. And you go, looking to move now?
It's a spider web,
right,
of content, and it's an easy call, right? It's kind of like the old, Greg might have had this one. Hey, I was just driving through your neighborhood and thought of you, right? Like the super easy call of I was just running by your house. Remember me from 2 years ago? I sold your house. I haven't talked to you since then because I'm a bum. I just drove by your neighborhood and I remembered that, hey, you painted your house or whatever the fuck it is, right? It's that kind of easy call. But this is, everybody knows nowadays that we're trying to create content. So like it gives them a little bit of ownership. It's a really good strategy. Homework.
Hey, Greg, you're on mute. However, I have a question for the master, G. McD.
Oh, okay.
So, Greg, you've been in the game for well over 22 years, and you've been interviewing a tremendous amount of people, top-end professionals, every single Friday, Real Estate Uncensored. I've seen one of your big shows at the Millionaire Real Estate Summit, even in Australia. I'd like to go ahead and ask you, how do you see cold calls work in this day and age right now?
Good question. They work incredibly well. People are itching for human contact, and so that they love to have the ability to have a human-to-human conversation. Even when it comes to door knocking, I'm seeing what I had to go out to one of my new listings and knock on a couple of neighbors' doors and say, hey, look, can I put a sign in your front yard, even though I know I'm not selling your home? And these people popped right out of their house, didn't give a shit about shit in regards to the mask or anything else. They just want to have human contact. So when it comes to doing cold calls, I'm finding them being very profitable. Text messages, email, cold calling, people are just seeking that connection. So yeah, I mean, if you knuckle down and you actually do what you say you're going to do, if you get a triple line dialer from RedX or whatever your preferred vendor is going to be, and you're then going to be able to plant your ass in a seat for 1 to 3 hours a day, doing anywhere from 100 to 750 phone calls a day, and just crushing skulls, it absolutely will work. It's the same exact thing as doing a text or social or what Gene does. I mean, any of you guys. But here's the thing. do you have the couple of pennies to rub together to hire Jake, Nick, or Gene, or do you want to do it just raw, hard, gritty work style and go out there and literally do the calls yourself? It comes down to kind of where you are in your business. If you want to roll up your sleeves, go hire RedX, DM me. I'll give you my link. They'll save you $150 on the sign-up fee, and you can go out there and do the calls and do it yourself. If you got a couple of bucks, hire these three gentlemen, let them go to battle for you. They're going to put their warrior gear on, and they're going to execute like assassins. End of story. Just depends on cash flow. That's it. But to answer your question, Jake, calls 1,000% still work, without a doubt. But of course, as always, stay compliant with the DNC list. Never violate that, because we have to be, flying in the legal zone here.
Great information. Greg, how are you doing today?
I am tired. I've been up since 3:14 this morning. I don't know why. My body just like bing, popped me up, and trying to hydrate and eat a little food and kind of keep my day going, and probably going to take a short day because my eyes are having a hard time staying open right now. I don't know how single parents do it, man. Seriously. I mean,
Greg, if I need to get in touch with you, how can I get in touch with you?
Oh, well, Jake, if you wanted to get in touch with me, write this down. This is going to be 925.
Wait, what was that again?
925 915 1978. But I'm not here to talk about me. I want to talk about you guys. I want to talk about the ever-shrinking man. Guys, we're at 46 minutes into this show. Nick, the Sakis, the ever-shrinking man, the gorgeous human being you are in sweaty Florida. How do people get a hold of you? And I since I have this now, I have to post this for you. This is where you get a hold of Nick. Tell them where you can get a hold of you.
Yeah, guys. So on social media, go to Nick Sakis, hashtag Nick Sakis Marketing if you want. Google up Nick Sakis. You can find my calendar online. Get Amplified Marketing if you'd like to find out more about how my company can help you with paid advertising, social media. We do some website design as well. And happy to add a few friends to my list.
Love it, man. All right, Baldy Bald. Who are you? You're
Baldy Bald. So you just said?
Yeah, Baldy Bald.
Baldy Bald. Fuck. Jesus.
Well, Aaron Wittenstein's the baldest of the bald. Now you're just the Baldy Bald.
That's true. I do have some facial hair. He does not.
He does not.
You know how to get me. Look over here. Gene Volpe. There it is. That's it. You got it right there, too. Facebook and Instagram is where I'm taking all requests.
For
whatever. Coffee talk.
Just to hang.
Gene with the fancy PNG logo, transparent.
You like that?
Got to step my game up.
Then we got Mr. Jake Wolf. Where did we get a hold of you, brother man?
Well, you just come on over to Clever Leads with a K. We'll dress you guys for the party. If you want to learn how to go ahead and put 10 sellers into your pocket in 4 business days, I can duplicate the process for you. Cheers and charge hard.
He's actually not kidding. All right, guys. Oh, gentlemen, thank you for asking. Where can they get a hold of me? The humility. I love it. Guys, you can get a hold of me. Yes, we are part of EXP. If you like to guys kind of talk about what we're doing, kind of what we're doing behind the scenes with these 3 beautiful men, kind of the minds that they have latched upon their brains in regards to marketing and how it can put dollars and cents into your pocket. Go ahead and get a hold of me. My number is 925 915 1978, or just do a DM on Facebook or Instagram. Love to talk with you guys because you were a small pack when you started, but now when you run with us, you're part of the bigger pack. Guys, we are going to take over this nation one state at a time. So, gentlemen, love it. Guys, I need 3 colors. We got to put 3 colors on the bow: the left, the center, and the middle. So, Gene, start with your color.
Go with Get Amplified and Clever Leads green.
Okay. We got green. Nick, middle.
I'll go burgundy.
Burgundy.
I agree.
So we do 2 burgundies?
No, I agree.
And 2 greens.
These 2 gentlemen.
2 burgundies, 2 greens.
That's not how this game works, okay?
You got to adapt, son.
Jake, what's your color?
We're going to go silver.
All right, guys. Hey, Guys, I love you to pieces. Thank you so much for watching another marketing roundtable, guys. We love you to pieces here on Real Estate Uncensored. I have Gene Volpe, Nick Sakis, and Jake Wolf as my illustrious co-hosts. These guys are absolute master marketers. If you're thinking about amplifying your business in any way, shape, or form, if you vibe with any of these gentlemen, please reach out, talk to them. If you like what we talked about here in the show, please give us a like and a little thumbs up in anywhere that you listen to the podcast. It'll help the algorithm. Until next time, gentlemen, you're all three incredible people. We'll see you next time, guys. Boom. Peace. We out, ninjas. Bye.